What's up, y'all? In this video, I want to first give a shout out to the conscious community. When I say the conscious community, my definition of the conscious community or someone who is conscious is one who has gone on their own personal journey, their own spiritual journey. They're not necessarily attached to religions and cults. They are their own master. They're definitely a student of life and also a teacher as well, So, as a student, you learn things and you gather it, you grasp it, you look for your receipts to confirm facts and all those other things. You feel encouraged to reveal to other people and teach people what you have learned as a student of life. We're always learning every day. So that's my definition of someone who is conscious or the conscious community. I'm not saying that's the actual definition, but that's just people who are enlightened, who don't put a period to knowledge. You're always going to keep learning and evolving. And I think with the information you learn and with your experiences, I think you evolve yourself and you learn more about yourself through your experiences and through what you learn more. I want to mention some names of some people who have helped me on my journey. Once I had detached from organized religion, I was born and raised a Christian in the church. Jesus, God, those two names, of course, has been something that's been like drilled in our minds, our psyche, our beliefs, at least in the church. God and Jesus. And then when you learn the definition of those words, the meanings and all that, it's like you look at it totally different. You don't even look at it as an individual or a deity, someone in the sky. It's just more of a concept at the wow. That's how it turns out. But a lot of people who helped me on my journey when I started waking up, first was my grandmother, my mom's mom. Shout out to my grandma, because my grandmother was starting to learn more outside of the church and Christianity and organized religion. And the first thing that she had got my brothers into, or that she revealed to my brothers and I, outside of any other religion and any other belief system that we were taught, my grandmother taught my brothers and I about Yahweh and being a Hebrew Israelite and how we are Hebrew Israelites and stuff like that. And I was very curious. First I thought it was a little odd, and I thought it was strange. She had us into this gentleman, a guy who was actually here. I think he's still alive. I think he's incarcerated, just like how Malachi Z. York is incarcerated, the guy Yahweh ben Yahweh. So I got into that, but then eventually years later I evolved out of that. I evolved out of that, and I started learning more. I started digging more into the history of the people that look like me, who they call African American, Africans, Black, Negro. I started looking more deep into what our real origin is and who we were before slavery. So some people that helped me on my journey is Dr. Ben Yakinen, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Phil Valentine, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, Brother Bobby Hemmett, the Honorable Bobby Hemmett. I learned so much from Bobby Hemmett. To a lot of people, it's very weird. He's really, really into the deities, and he does the libations and stuff like that. But the information this man has brought, I think I've learned more from Bobby Hemmett than any other what we would call master teacher in the black community. Who else? brother Sarah Sutanseti. Black Power. Sarah Sutanseti helped to sharpen my edges a little bit, and you know, he helped ignite that warrior spirit in a lot of us as well. Shout out, salute to young Pharaoh as well. Pharaoh. He did connect with Sarah Sutanseti, and then when they did connect, it was like Kobe and Shaq, Jordan and Pippen. You know, they had two different perspectives, and the way they brung the information was two totally different ways. But you know, I learned a lot from them as well. So I did learn a lot from Pharaoh. I didn't really get into what's his name, Rashad Jamal, until like last year, I believe, or maybe 2020. You know, it's probably 2020 or 2021. But that boy's so deep, so I gotta pay homage to him too, even though that was more later. What's some other great teachers? The late great Dr. Delbert Blair, rest in peace. Dr. Frances Cressy Welsing, she did pass away too, so rest in peace to her as well. But Dr. Delbert Blair, Dick Gregory, salute to Dick Gregory. All these people I really tapped into, and the information that they brought. What's his name? Ashra Kwesi. This man helped me to learn about the history. He showed evidence. He was always going to Africa. There's so many videos, VHSs, CDs, recordings of Ashra Kwesi showing receipts of our existence, our history, how a lot of stuff that we created was stolen by other people, invaders, when they came in, when they was going to the great school of Luxor in Egypt, and they formed their religions out of learning our organized religions, and that's how they eventually gained some dominance and power into the world. It's like we welcomed them in, taught them everything they knew, and then they stabbed us in the back and invaded us because maybe they just feared that, or maybe the envy. I think it was more envy than anything. Fear too, but envy of how gifted and how powerful we are, and how touched and chosen we are by the planet, the elements. We are connected divinely, and they've invested so much time and energy into disconnecting us from ourselves, which is nature, the constellations, the energy on this planet, the knowledge of self on this planet. So those names that I've mentioned, you know, if y'all don't know some of those names, write them down. Do the research, because these are some powerful people that helped impact me, and at least helped to polish me into the person I am today. Of course, my parents, my mom and father, they definitely made a big impact on my life as well. But at the same time, people outside of my parents and my household when I was growing up, my grandmother, she laid the blueprint. She opened that door, and I think after that, it just helped me to realize that, okay, there's more to this than what I've been taught, which was Christianity, the church, the Bible, and all that stuff. And then once I started doing the research for myself and questioning, asking questions about certain things that I didn't feel made sense when I was in the church, you know, if I didn't do this stuff, I would probably be fully into the church still. There's no knock on the church, you know. I mean, I think there's still a lot of good people in the church, and it's a great organized, community-based system to keep people out of trouble and keep everybody supporting each other and working together. But stay awake, you guys. Shout out to the conscious community.